Hello everyone. We're going to cover today different ways you can boost your immune system through changes in your nutrition, activity habits, and lifestyle. So we're first going to cover preventative measures you can take. So the first thing you can do, and I can't stress this enough, is to eat real food. So what we have listed here is, of course, organic, unprocessed, anti-inflammatory foods, and common gut damaging foods. So when we say whole foods, that just means foods in their natural state, the way they were grown. Really, the less we've done to them, the better. Organic is ideal if possible, because then you are avoiding those extra pesticides and herbicides and sprays and chemicals, and those types of things can really cause a lot of inflammation and suppress our immune system. Of course, as much added sugar as you can avoid, the better. Sugar really suppresses our immune system in multiple ways. So try to eat a lot of nutrient-rich whole foods and adequate amounts of protein to help support a healthy gut lining, which is where most of our immune system lives, is in our gut, but also to help produce what are called antibodies in our body. Proteins help form antibodies, and that will help fight off any foreign bacteria or viruses we may be exposed to. Exercise. We all know it's good to exercise, but exercise is also good for your immunity. But it is important. Most people would say they're not at risk for this, but you don't want to overtrain either, because that can be a big stressor on your system as well and suppress your immune system. So some research has shown, as you can see here, running 10 miles a week boosts the immune system, but 20 miles increases infection risk. So, of course, there's reason for some people, if they're training for a marathon, to run over that. I'm not saying it's bad altogether, but it is interesting how if we stress our bodies out too much, it actually can work against us. We usually think the more the better, but not necessarily. And just mentally, always try to choose exercise you enjoy. If you're not a runner, you don't have to run. There's multiple different types of activities. We're getting into summer, and there's all sorts of water sports, canoeing, kayaking. That's all just as good as running or biking or things like that. So always try to choose something that you enjoy. Meditation. I'm not an expert in meditation, but they're finding 8 weeks of meditating can lead to a 40 to 50% decrease in cold and flu symptoms. Therefore, fewer days of missed work, and therefore shorten the duration of your symptoms. Getting enough sleep. Sleep is crucial. I think we all could benefit from more sleep. Lack of sleep compromises your immune system. Try to avoid that blue light, sitting in front of a computer screen or sitting on your phone, a tablet, what have you, at least 2 hours before bedtime. If you feel the need to be exposed to screens, right up until you go to bed, I would suggest looking into sunglasses that block that blue light, and that can help prevent that stimulation of your adrenal system and help prevent excess cortisol from being released to keep stimulating your brain to keep you awake. Just look up blue light glasses and I'm sure you'll find some, but ideally try to shut those screens off 2 hours before bedtime. They're finding a little cooler temperature is optimal for optimal sleep, 60 to 67 degrees. Vitamin D is wonderful for prevention. Our best source can be from the sun. We have a chemical in our skin called cholecalciferol, and when our skin is exposed to direct sunlight, that chemical can convert into the active form of vitamin D. It is a good idea to get your levels tested. I think it's safe to supplement with vitamin D up to about 2,000 IUs of vitamin D, 2,000 to 5,000 depending on the person, is I would consider safe, but if you think you could benefit from higher supplementation of vitamin D, I would definitely get your levels tested prior to supplementing with more than that. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble nutrient, and so that means we don't just pee out the extra. It is stored in our fat stores, so you can get toxic in any of those fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. But very good for boosting your immune system and helping to regulate it. I always say vitamin D is like your thermostat for your immune system. It helps it to not over respond or under respond to things. We want it to react appropriately when we are exposed to different foreign agents. Clean up indoor air. They're finding natural gas cooking increases risk of upper respiratory infections due to higher nitrogen dioxide levels. And then just try to avoid irritating pollutants like scented candles or like the candle warmers. Products like Scentsy, they smell great, but they do have, as far as I know, artificial fragrances, and those can really irritate our lung and airways. Of course, scented laundry detergents and dryer sheets and a lot of cleaning supplies all go right along with that. Air fresheners, try to avoid those as much as you can. Use maybe essential oils or things like that if you want a nice clean fragrance in your laundry or when you're cleaning. Add some of that, or I'm sure there are diffusers for essential oils, obviously. If you want to add some different scents to the air in your home, those would be better options. Take a whole food multivitamin. So I always say food first, but most of us are not eating a balanced diet, and even if you are, our produce doesn't contain the nutrients it once did for many reasons. So recommend supplementing with a high quality multivitamin. Some good product lines are Thorne Pharmaceuticals, Pure Encapsulations, Metagenics. So there's some supplement lines I recommend. Of course, again, food first, then you can fill in the gaps with a high quality multivitamin. And as far as food sources and vitamin sources, yes, look for organic, of course, always, and fermented sources are really good for our gut microbiome. So if you do unfortunately get sick, here's some chiropractic care. Again, not my area of expertise, but if you're finding chiropractic care reduces cold and flu incidence by about 15%. It boosts immunoglobulin and lymphocyte, so white blood cell production in the body. And for the 1918 flu epidemic, chiropractic increased flu patient survival rates. Vitamin C, we all know, is good for our immune system. That's a given. But it's an antioxidant, so it helps prevent oxidation to cells in our body, boosts production of white blood cells, and common dosage is 1,000 milligrams 3 to 4 times daily. I personally take 2 to 3,000 milligrams daily, especially in this time of year or in the fall when it's cold and flu season. But it is recommended if you are experiencing any kind of illness to up that to at least 4,000 milligrams a day. And vitamin C is a water-soluble nutrient, so you are not at risk for becoming toxic in that. You will just pee out if you take extra. But of course, these recommendations are based on the thought that you will actually need this amount and you won't just be peeing it out. So try to remember those numbers and at least be taking a gram daily. Echinacea, they're finding as effective or possibly more than the medication Tamiflu for fighting respiratory infections. It's very anti-inflammatory, so again, acute inflammation is good for us to help heal, but chronic inflammation is what we want to avoid. And chronic inflammation itself can really suppress our immune system. Best taken at first sign of illness, of course, and the last box there, you can see there's common dosages for different preparations. So making a tea or a tincture or you can make tablets of it. You can buy just clear capsules in most vitamin supplement stores and fill them with your own herbs. Elderberry may help deactivate the flu virus, reduces bronchial inflammation, reduces severity and length of flu symptoms, and there's a product there, Sambucol, is a popular elderberry-based remedy, but you can find elderberry syrup again at natural food stores around this area. Definitely I've seen it at Simply Nourished in Clear Lake. Hawk Pharmacy carries it, and I'm not sure. I would hope that like a Walgreens would carry that, but I'm not positive. But you can order it online through Amazon too, or other various retailers, but very powerful for fighting cold and flu symptoms. Zinc, very powerful antiviral specifically effect, as you can see. Best when taken, of course, at first signs of illness. Do want to avoid excessive amounts of any one single vitamin or mineral. That's why a multivitamin is great if it's a good quality one, because they balance out the vitamins and minerals in there to fit our needs as humans. If we just take high doses of one vitamin or mineral without being prescribed that through a doctor or a dietitian, it can really throw off other levels of nutrients in our body. So you just want to make sure you're not taking excessive amounts unless you've been directed to do so. Zinc-rich foods are typically really just like the protein-dense foods. So chicken, beef, fish, shellfish, things like that, turkey are higher in zinc, nuts and seeds are, and dairy is also a great source of zinc. Probiotics are good bugs, good bacteria, and we have a balance of kind of bad bugs and good bugs, probiotics in our gut currently. All of us do, but it's what ratio between those two do we currently have, which really can play a role in how strong our immune system is. So we do want to try to supplement with fermented foods that provide probiotics naturally, or take a probiotic supplement is always a good idea to help restore that beneficial bacterial balance in the gut and encourage more of the good bacteria and less of the bad. Daily probiotic supplements for 6 months is a safe and effective way to help reduce fever, cough, and runny nose symptoms and reduce the number of illness-related sick days. So again, about 85% of our immune system is housed in our gut, they are finding. So we really want to help nourish and take care of our gut environment. And if we do so, we're going to set our body up for success and a strong immune system and help prevent a lot of illness in the future. Top foods for flu recovery, specifically, typically a lighter, easy to digest foods. I'm sure you can relate to that. Foods that aren't super heavy or have a really potent flavor. Obviously, that's not going to go over well when you're getting over a sickness. Soups with bone broth, collagen is very healing to the body, and bone broth is a great source of collagen. Of course, those warm liquids are going to feel great on your throat. Cooked vegetables, easier to digest, and of course vegetables have lots of antioxidants and vitamins and minerals for good health, and herbal teas. Water, is our best medicine. Can't stress that enough. It helps flush out toxins and viruses, bacteria. Shoot for about half your body weight in ounces daily, and I'd say that's just day to day. If you're sick, you want to up that and try to get at least 2 to 3 more cups than that, I would say, or 2 to 4 more. Green and black teas are potent immune system boosters, specifically. Your mom or grandma maybe made this for you growing up. I know my mom did. Hot water with lemon and honey and cinnamon helps prevent mucus buildup. And then ginger tea. Ginger is very anti-inflammatory, as well as fresh garlic. So ginger tea with raw honey, real honey. Make sure it's real honey. Honey is also very antimicrobial. It's a great option to sip on. when you are fighting any type of illness. Last but not least, I have a homemade vapor rub concoction here for you. So mixing 3 to 5 drops of eucalyptus oil with peppermint oil, and then mixing those oils into coconut oil and rubbing that mixture onto your chest is going to mimic kind of like a Vicks vapor rub, but be a little more potent. Obviously, it's probably more bioactive if it's freshly prepared like that and you're using essential oils versus maybe some added scents and artificial ingredients in some of those more manufactured rubs. So something you could try. Again, you want to be careful with those oils too much, and they can kind of burn the skin a little bit. It helps to dilate blood vessels and allows more oxygen into the lungs. And just a note of safety, don't use eucalyptus oil near faces of small children. That is all I have. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, knicholson@cghealth.com, and I'd be happy to provide any further clarification or answer any questions you have. Thanks for watching and stay healthy.